All right, welcome everybody to the AMA here with E4C. We are very excited. First time, I don't know, Johnson, if you knew this, but you guys are the special ones. You are the first actual live stream event. I mean, on YouTube at least. We've done plenty of things on Twitter and Discord and stuff. But Johnson, you get the privilege of joining me for our first Balthazar YouTube live stream. It's going to be hype. I want to see some hype here in the chat. So anyone who's here, throw out some emotes, some hellos, some emojis, whatever you want. Throw out your love for E4C and Balthazar in the chat. Want to see it just going crazy. Let's get it going crazy. Let's get it started right. But for those who maybe don't know you, Johnson, quick, who are you, and what are you doing with your life right now?
Hey, you know what? Since you asked for crazy, this is how I usually start my show. Hello, Shanghai. So today it's going to be hello, Balthazar.
Hey, let's go. I like it.
So no, I do this even when I go to like big speeches like China Joy and stuff. Like gaming industry. It's not just when I host big esports shows. Because I feel like it gives me much more energy than like any other people, and people focus on me better this way. So
I love it.
that's how I grab attention.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
So
for those that don't know,
sorry.
you're ex CEO of Riot Asia Games, and I'm curious now that you're talking about that. Did you ever get to go up on stage during a big event during a match or something and get to announce anything?
So I went on stage many times. For a lot of the LPL games, I am like the person giving out the awards at the end. But the most viewed one was 2017 Worlds Finals. I was one of the three awarders. So people handing out the champion trophies. So I was up on the stage with Mark Merrill and Brendan Beck, Riot Games CEOs and founders. So that was definitely very special moment for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. Sorry, I cut you off though. I was super curious about that. Do you want to give a quick who are you and what you're doing?
Of course. So my name is Johnson. I'm the CEO and founder for Ambrus Studio. So my career started in McKinsey, the management consulting firm, which sounds plain to many people, but it was actually really fun. Learned a lot of fundamental skills. In the middle, in order to not make it not too plain, I also took 16 months of sabbatical to get a PhD. Full-time PhD in Peking University. And then in my remaining time, I was a full-time PhD and a full-time McKinsey consultant, which was
Wow.
pretty crazy. And then I left to join the World Economic Forum in 2013 as a climate warrior, leading the circular economy initiative there before taking a crazy change in my life and then joining Riot Games in 2015 as head of esports for China. And then, next 5 years was like the best ride in my career. We took League of Legends esports to become China's largest sport. We broadcast more hours than NBA, the local soccer, and the local basketball league. Our revenue for the esport became a crazy number. And then one large game of ours will get over 100 million unique viewers, including the one I just told you about, 2017 World's Finals.
Yeah.
So it was, a crazy ride. And then as a result, I made it all the way to Asia CEO for Riot within a few years. I was literally promoted once every year. Before I decided to pursue my passion for the climate and started my entrepreneurial journey for the last 3 years. And the latest of which is Ambrus Studio, a Web3 gaming company that I started at the end of last year. So that's a very quick overview of myself.
Love it. Thank you. It's just so good to have you. I know we talked a few months ago, but it's been fun to just kind of track your guys' progress and to talk to you again here. So thank you so much for taking the time. And chat, just thank you guys for being here as well. We're going to do some giveaways tonight for E4C. We have some whitelist spots. We have some legendary loot boxes in the Fallen Arena, and we have a Ranger Edition NFT. So Johnson, you're throwing out the big giveaways here today. It feels like. So I hope everyone's ready to go for it. So this is going to be a live AMA. Feel free to drop questions in the chat as we go. But as we get started, Johnson, I just want to get your take personally. It seems like last time, I can't remember exactly how long it's been since we talked. It's probably a few months now. And back then, it seemed like, even though the market was down, everyone was still kind of, bullish on play to earn and NFT games and where the space is going. it seems like since we've talked, just a lot of drama in the crypto space has, gone on with Celsius and FTX collapsing, all these things. Just like it seems like bearish thing after bearish thing, and people are panicking. How has that affected you guys, if at all? Has that changed your mindset at all, or is it just, hey, we're chugging along and we're not paying attention to all that?
I think it's the last one is the closest. We're chugging along. We don't have any exposure to any of these companies. We feel like we've always been ahead of the time, right? We knew back then, even even when I first started in Ambrus Studio, like more than a year ago, I already knew that play to earn is not going to work at that time. I think the sustainable to economic thing in play to earn will just never work. I'm an econ major myself in U Chicago, and at that time, like, this is crazy. It's not going to work. So, well, I think I've been proven right. And then now, right, I think as a result, we are actually one of the earliest people planning for complete play for fun, planning for complete no play to earn elements, and then designing a super sustainable tokenomic system that is aimed to be sustainable, to incentivize people to convert to Web3 while still using the uniqueness of the blockchain technology. So we think now, because we are ahead of the curve, we hopefully will finish ahead of the curve too, and we'll be able to be the first to produce a sustainable, fun, large DAU game in Web3 space. So that's what we're looking at right now. And then, as a result, right, because we're still developing, the hit in the market doesn't really hurt us that much, except on the fundraising side. And the good thing is that we did majority of our fundraising in the first half of this year. So, yes, over the last few months, we still have a lot of interest there. We still let in a few investors, who we think adds a lot of strategic value at the same valuation as we had like back in June this year. So our evaluation has not improved. No, I think that's the only real, let's say, downside. Other than that, though, we are chugging along and we're doing pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a really good thing that you guys have going on, is having that focus of let's make a fun game that people want to play, whether regardless it's a bull market, a bear market. Like, why should a market affect a video game, right? It should be we want to play it because it's fun. And I'm curious, with that mentality, have you seen that within your community? Because I've seen a lot of other Web3 games, as more of the market has gotten barer and barer, that people have just lost interest because they're more so interested in the value of NFTs or tokens of the game. Do you feel like your community's still been going strong because you've had that kind of play for fun mentality?
Um, I would say yes, relatively. We look at our activity level, not just the number of fans, right? The level of interaction, the depth of interaction, the NFT sales numbers. I think we're doing relatively well. No, I'll be lying if we didn't lose any fans, right? For sure we did.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Everyone does, and then there are because the market cooling down, everyone has lost, community members. But to us, I think from the get go, we've been focusing ourselves on building a very long term, very sustainable play for fun experience, and we can never stop the flippers or like the to earn guys. No, they're still part of our community, right? And we still think that there's a way to harness the power of even these people in our community to help us. So that we still all agree. But we've always natural selected, let's say a more long-term crowd who can really buy into our vision in our community. And I think that's really paying off. So the hit in our community is, I would say, relatively minor.
Good. That's great to hear. And speaking of which, we have some chat questions now rolling in, and this one is kind of similar to what we were just talking about. This is from Orib saying, hey, there's this in-game token. There's too many whales in crypto that try to make profit from tokens. How do you want to manage whales' behavior? If they sell, everyone starts to panic. Do you care about that? Do you care about whales selling and profiting and causing some panic in the market, or do you just kind of take that philosophy of, hey, we're playing for fun, we're not going to worry about what whales do with their tokens?
I don't care. Essentially, yes, we are going to design in some mechanisms to, mitigate that. But it's just like, take the stock market, right? Even if you're the number one market cap stock in the world, whether it's Apple or Tesla, whatever, there's always big institutional investors, who want to, let's say, under allocate you, and then as a result, be selling you, right? But you need to realize that what makes these stocks great is that they have fundamental value creation. And that's what we're doing, right? We want to make sure that our game is fun. We have a lot of players. These players generate revenue and value creation for the game, for our token holders, and for us, the studio. And as a result, our quote unquote market cap or fully diluted value will be much, much higher. And then we'll be immune from, like 1 to 10 whales, trying to sell us, right? At the end of the day, we can never stay away. We can never convince everyone to stay together, away from us, or stay with us forever. We just need to prove to the community that we are worth it, and it doesn't matter how many whales are trying to throw out our coins.
Mm. I love that mentality, and I think that's just awesome to see that. And it makes sense if you're building a video game. Then if that fun aspect is still there, then up and down, no matter what with the whales, it's gonna shine through as long as the player base and community is still there. There's only so much you can do to control what other people do with their NFTs and tokens, right? Like you can't make decisions for people, right? As you said. So I like that, and focusing on the fun. So let's jump into one other question here, and then we'll kind of do our first giveaway here. Speaking of the fun of the game, MetaMax wants to know, what has the inspiration been for the design of each hero? Can you walk us through how do you guys design them?
Sure. So right now we've publicly announced. Well, actually, in our sneak peek, there's the first 7 champions. These are all, well, what we call E4C Rangers. We've done one degree or another of reveal for them, but right now what's really publicly announced is Rin and Kid, our first 2 champions, and of course the subject of this wave of free mint, which is Thorn. So I will first start with the underlying universe that they're from. It is Earth in 2100. So why are we doing that? Because we really, really care about the environment. That's like our vision. Good game for good cause. We want this good game to really do something for the world on the environment side. So we decided one thing that's really lacking is the education of the dire consequences of climate change. So do you know that in 2100, the world is already set to rise by 4 degrees Celsius versus pre-industrial times. So we decided to depict how the world will be changing. We've done a lot of scientific research, and then all of our games are under the E4C, Earth 4 degrees Celsius universe. So E4C Fallen Arena, E4C Final Salvation, they're all under this universe. So under this universe, then there's many, many camps. There is essentially this, quote unquote, bad guy company called Hive, who was started as, someone who want to use science to help the environment, but because it fell into the control of people with not so pure intentions, and then they start to try to control the world, and then there are many, many factions that start to rebel against it. And as a result, all of our champions are coming from this rivalry that you see right here. So Rin and Kid are both, in the camp that is fighting against Hive, while Thorn is actually from Hive. But as the story evolves, you'll see more what happens with Thorn. So that's a very, very quick overview of the story. And then the champion designs, right? I just want to mention one more thing. the story and their skill shots and everything. Their like graphics design. That's all, let's say, controlled holistically by our team. And then one thing I really want to stress is that our skill shots, it's going to be relatively less complex compared to, let's say, League of Legends or like Wild Rift. Essentially, we want to minimize the microcontrol part of mobile gaming, and then make try to make the strategic and tactical elements stronger. And then we feel like for people to get into a genre like MOBA, we need to lower the entrance bar a little bit. So our skill shots are slightly easier than the current incumbents. So that's the last thing I want to mention about our champion designs.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing. I think, two things come to mind as you're talking. One is I think it's really interesting that you guys are tying the actual storyline of the game and characters to a storyline that's happening in the real world, because I think that makes it really interesting for a multiplayer game. I think a lot of multiplayer games, you think of League or Valorant or, CSGO, like it seems like most people are playing for the competition, for the PvP. It's not so much the lore itself that they care about, but I think tying it into something that's actually concerning to a lot of people in the real world is a really cool way to make people actually care about the lore. And then I just love the fact that you guys are trying to help the mobile micro actions, because, man, that's the thing that keeps me from playing mobile games the most. It's sometimes very infuriating to try to do those small micro movements on your phone. It just drives me crazy. So thank you for doing that.
Well, Luke, I think just means that we're getting old.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah. Maybe that's the problem. I hope that's not the only reason, but my mechanical skills definitely are not as sharp as they used to be, unfortunately, as I wish they were. So
I know we were both pretty pro back then, right? But I think age always catch up to us.
I don't know if I'd call myself pro. I hit like gold, like mid gold in league, so I was like a 50% player maybe. But yeah, I had a lot of fun. So let's do a giveaway though, because we're a few minutes into it, and I think this would be a fun point just to stop before we get to some other questions. Let's kick it off by, just based on time, let's do 2 whitelist spots, and how about 3 loot boxes from the Fallen Arena? Does that sound good to you, Johnson?
Of course.
We got more to give away. And by the way, your questions, we'll pick out the best question at the end, our favorite question, to receive the Ranger NFT. So keep submitting questions. I don't know if we'll get to all of them tonight. You guys are doing a great job. But even if we don't get to your question, it still can be picked for the winner. So, all right, Nightbot is going to pick some winners here for let's do the 2 whitelist spots first. So let's see if we can get it to go. Let's see if Nightbot might not let us. Okay, so everyone in the chat just need to throw in a word or something. Nightbot will have to pick up your chat if it looks like it should be working. So throw in a chat and you shall be eligible for the giveaway here. And if not, Johnson and I can just choose our favorites. Okay. All right. Looks like Nightbot is not currently working, unfortunately. So how about this? Everyone put in a number. You get 1 guess in the chat. Pick a number between 1 and 100. I'll pick a number. Johnson, you pick a number too, okay? We'll do 2 closest. All right.
Sounds good.
You got a number in your head?
I do. Do you want to know it?
I mean, not yet. Then people are going to know. It kind of defeats the whole purpose here. That's funny. Okay. We'll do Johnson's number. The 2 closest to Johnson's number will be getting the whitelist spots, and the 3 closest numbers to me will be getting the first set of legendary game loot boxes in the Fallen Arena. So, should be pretty hyped here. No more answers. We will now announce. I'll go first. My number was number 9. So we got Team Phoenix Rising with the number 8. Gonna win one of those legendary loot boxes. I'm assuming that's the closest one here. And then I think I saw a number 12 come in. I think that's going to be the other two closest. So, congrats to Team Phoenix Rising. We got, oh gosh, I'm going to butcher these names. I'm so sorry. Tham Le Hoang, I believe, is hopefully close to your name there. And we got Zuzu Lin as well. Okay. Oh, we did have a 6. Okay, so Dave as well. We'll just do... Looks like we got a few ties. So here we go. We'll be giving away more of these legendary loot boxes all at once.
That's all good, man.
We have 10 to go for the whole stream anyway, so...
And we want our community to be happy.
I mean, I don't know if you guys have played in the chat the Fallen Arena yet, but I've had a couple games in it, and... It's a fun mini game. Maybe we can talk about that next. But Johnson, first of all, what was your number here?
36.
36. Well, no way. Someone actually nailed it. HT No Pro gonna be winning a whitelist spot. Do they know your favorite number? Is that your favorite number or anything?
It's not. I literally picked it randomly.
Just a really good guess, I guess, huh? Let's see, 33. Yep. Let's see if anyone got closer to 33. Oh, we got a 37. I think that's going to be the other whitelist spot winner. Don't worry if you missed out. We will have another one to go as well. So we got HNO Pro. We got Huru Tan with a 37 as well. So congrats to you guys getting some good whitelist spots. Real quick, do you want to say what the whitelist spot is? Maybe if they don't know what the Ranger NFT, what does it do? What does that accomplish for them?
Sure. So, our Rangers NFT, we are in the middle of a 7 champion Genesis NFT series. But then this one is a special edition. We are the total number of mints will be 10,000 this time. And then, this one will be a free mint. It is going to be for our 3rd champion, Thorn. And then, we are giving away, a few things. First of all, there will be utilities that I actually don't know how much we've announced, so I don't want to spoil the utility. But it's going to be in-game airdrops. It's going to be things like DGC or in-game utility token drop, blah blah blah. But there will be things that's tied to the latter, the DGC part, via staking. So essentially, this is our part of our NFT series that we want to really try to build our community with this free mint. So that's what this Thorn NFT is about.
Yeah, I like that, and that rolls in perfectly to our next question, anyways, which was, what do you think about when the current community prefers free mint over paid mint? There are too many flippers. The number of holders is few. But it sounds like there's not everyone gets to free mint, right? Just lucky winners.
Yeah, exactly. Only lucky winners. Free mint, right? I think we need to couple it with something. We need to couple it with people actually need to spend time to understand our game, spend time to listen to AMAs, join community activities. If it's free mint, right, and then gas fee is not that high, especially right now we're on Immutable X, there's no gas fee. Then free mint is very free. But why do we want to do free mint, right? We want this to use this as a way to expand our community. But if you just get the free mint and then throw it away immediately, you don't understand our community, then it's missing the whole point. And that's why we couple the free mint with activities that you need to do in order for you to improve the value of this free mint. That's what for example, what our staking system does. And then, of course, then you still need to work for this whitelist, right? You need to come to AMAs like this and then guess the right numbers to get the whitelist. So we do think that this is a good, let's say, reward profile for our community members. That's why we're doing a free mint.
Cool. I think one of the questions that everyone wants to ask, and I don't know if you have an answer or an estimation, but when will the game be playable?
All right. So first of all, E4C Fallen Arena, our mini game, is already playable. It's in closed beta. We are launching on Steam for PC at end of the year. It is going to be our first game. Of course, it's not a full experience that people are looking for in our mobile MOBA. But it is still pretty exciting that we have a game that is launched, that's in the market. Our E4C Final Salvation game, we plan to launch it at the end of next year. We plan to make it available for alpha testing in the first half of next year, and then beta in the second half of next year. So stay tuned. There are still a lot of development progress to be made. We're still making a lot of tweaks. We do have an internal build that we are refining the core gameplay loop on already. So we are very excited about our current gameplay, but we still need to make it better. So it will be a few months before the players can really see it. But hopefully people will like what we're doing.
Yeah, well, I think I see a few questions about this similar vein. A lot of people are asking, what is this game going to bring? What's the advantage of this game over other games? Some are asking, what's the difference between League of Legends or other MOBAs? I think we've seen, at least in my days, I've played League for a long time, and I've seen kind of other ones go, come and go. And, Heroes of the Storm launched, which, kind of had some success, but I wouldn't say it's taken off fully in the way some people thought. So what's going to make E4C stick out in people's minds, you think?
Okay, first of all, versus any Web3 game, we already talked about it. It's sustainable, it's played for fun, blah, blah. So I'm not going to labor too much into those parts. I mean, we already explained our differences. Let me explain then how we can stand out in the Web2 space then, because in order for us to really gain the huge amount of users that we aspire to, we inherently have to tap into the Web2 users and be able to compete head to head with current giants, right? Which is actually very hard. I mean, look at the current MOBA space. MOBA space, PC side is dominated by League of Legends, and then the mobile space is dominated by Honor of Kings, Arena of Valor, MLBB, and the Wild Rift. And these four games, but keep in mind these four games are only popular in China, Southeast Asia, and a few selected markets like MLBB in Russia, for example. None of them has really taken off in Europe, US, or lower tier emerging markets. So we see this as a huge white space, a huge opportunity, right? And then we look at the reason why they're not very successful. One of the biggest reasons is that it's still too complex, it's still too long. It's not mobilely native design. They are all pretty much direct ports of PC League of Legends experience. So we decided that we're going to make this game shorter and faster, more highlight moments, more intense. At the same time, we lighten the control mechanics from the mobile side and make it more mobile native while adding more strategic element to it so that we can achieve a game that's easier to get into, but potentially even harder to master. We think it's very hard, but we think we found the right balance here. And we are going to do customer acquisition in a very hybrid Web2, Web3 manner. For Web3, we want to harness the power of the community of Web3 for sure. But we also believe that the key, right, is to be able to get Web2 users come in, enjoy the game because they think it's fun. And then we use our main in-game asset, which is selling skins. we have designed a unique skin upgrading system that essentially we think will give players a great experience, whether you are a Web 2 or Web 3 user, whether you're a ping or non-ping user. And even better, if we use the skin system to eventually incentivize people to convert to a Web3 and connect to a wallet. We think this is the way we can achieve high mass of players and then have them migrate over to Web3. And then once we have the critical mass, then we think that we'll be able to be, quote unquote, the king of Web3. Everyone will want to work with us. And then there's so much revenue potential, right? At the end of the day, Web3 right now needs more players, active users. And our goal is to build the most player-centric experience and let the Web2 people who feel like there's no fun Web3 games to come into our game and enjoy it and be part of our community.
Great. And you're making my job easy. You're already answering questions that are coming in down the line. Just talking exactly what Orb was talking about. But the last part of the question, maybe we can go a little more in depth into it. He's talking about engaging Web2 gamers, but then also specifically, how do you market to Web2 gamers? Because I'll throw out an example here. I don't know how much you are studying these other games in the Web3 space, but one of the things that was interesting from Gala Games, they just put out Superior, where you could buy the NFT version on their website, or you could buy the non-NFT version on Steam. And what was interesting, I just went into Steam to see what people were saying about it. And there's a lot of just negative reviews. Even the non-NFT version of the game, people are just like, oh, even though this game version has no NFTs, it's a company that does support NFTs. So we're going to downvote it. We're going to throw, hate at it in these reviews. And that's not every gamer out there, but there's a lot of that. So how do you actually market to Web2 gamers? Because it seems like right now it's very difficult for them to get over this hurdle of NFTs are just scams.
No, that's very true. So, I don't say we have everything figured out, but at the end of the day, right, it's about how we want to position ourselves. We want to position ourselves as a fun game. We are not a Web3 gaming company in the traditional sense, right? We are the Web3 company that tries to build the future of Web3. And we believe we have a path that works. That is combining MOBA genre with esports, with our community, and then doing a hybrid Web2, Web3 approach. And then our marketing team's job is to convey this vision. We think that the NFTs and Web3, if we do it smartly, it can coexist with the rest of the world, with the Web2 world, right? For example, our goal in our skin is most unique, as I said, because of our skin upgrading system. And the upgrading system, right, we have a unique design where we are writing a lot of the highlight moments of your personal gameplay into the metadata for these NFTs. So these NFTs are not just pure skins, right? They are emotional attachments for you. And yes, if it's just emotional attachment for the Luke or Johnson, it's probably not going to be worth anything. But what if it's the emotional attachment attached to a very famous esports player like Faker? Then it's going to be worth quite a lot more. So our goal, right, is to make this unique NFT setup work. Think about, do people complain about NBA Top Shots and then, this is way overhyped, blah, blah. Yes, people complain about the price, but no one really complains about whether it fundamentally should exist. And that's what we're trying to do. If we can successfully build common emotional attachment for people in something that they all enjoy watching, then it's not really about the asset. It's about the experience that they share. So we are focusing very, very much on the game itself. NFTs, that's really just one way for us to interact with our community. In fact, we think the NFT holder or the wallet connected percentage will be so low in the beginning that we look much more like a Web2 game in the beginning when we launch.
That's awesome. I love you mentioning just even the aspect of a favorite pro player and having that connection of an NFT to that, because I would love a Faker NFT, or even Def, now that he took down Faker in Worlds. I think that would be pretty hype. And I'm kind of interested to know your perspective. And I've known you've done an AMA with Reggie and stuff from TSM. It seems like a lot of the sports people have jumped on the NFT hype and rode that during the bull market, but it doesn't seem like as many esport players have tried to make their own NFT collection or things like that. Or am I missing that, or are they still hesitant to that, or do you think the esports players will be um, jumping over that, I guess, barrier and exploring the world of NFTs soon?
Well, that's a tough question. First of all, right, esport player have a lot of them have the problem that their entire contract, meaning even their streaming, their commercial rights are signed to the teams rather than to themselves. Of course, it's very different between leagues, but the esport players at the end of the day, right, they spend most of their time practicing and then playing the league and therefore, they have less time for it, and they have the incentive is not as aligned. Now, do the teams have great ability to create NFTs for that? Not in the current sense, right? Because you need to give underlying utility. PFTs no longer work. So, what utility can a team give? Is it then not too different from a membership program that they already have? I think that's the fundamental question, right? Me as a game developer right now have or in the past I was a lead commissioner. We have the advantage that we have more utility that we can give. And we believe that this is the missing formula is controlling where the value lies. I do think that we need to work together with the teams, with the players, in order for it to work. But it really needs, let's say, all these parties to work together. And incumbent, like for example, League of Legends, who doesn't really want their foot into Web3, it's much, much, much harder for the team and the leagues to try to monetize on it versus let's say for Ambrus and for E4C Final Salvation, right? We're making it clear that we are very happy to work together with the esports team and players to seek for better monetization. So we would love to find a way to make it work.
Awesome, that's great to hear. I think that would be awesome if you could have a way to connect with players and teams and help them monetize in Web3, because that's, realistically, it does come down to a lot of finances and business side of things. If you can't get into a space and monetize it, then why would a brand waste their time, essentially? And so hopefully that can change, and maybe E4C will be part of the solution. I want to jump into a different area, though, and talk more about Ambrus Studio. And Bay Glenn is asking, what is the number of full-time developers in Ambrus Studio at the moment?
So we have almost 30 people on our game/platform team. So these are all the people who are artists, engineers working on the game. So it is a pretty decent, and it also includes a few smart contract engineers, who's working on the side that's closer to publishing. But yeah, essentially that's our entire game and platform team is about 30 people.
Do you feel like that's enough? Are you guys still looking to hire and round out the team? Where are you guys at?
No, we have to be ramping up, right? I mean, right now we're in a prototyping phase. So we think 30 is enough. But then as we get into pre-production, production phase, we'll continue to need to ramp up. My rough sense for the number of headcount right before our release, after our mass production, we probably will be closer to 100 people at that time. But of course, that's if we get significant traction, and then fundraising goes well, then we can expand more like that.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think to some people it might sound like 100 is a lot, but I've just been reading and studying how hard it is to make video games, and man, I don't envy you guys and your teams. It sounds brutal, just the amount of resources and work that goes into gameplay mechanics and arts and sounds and animations. It's just so much going on with just a single video game. It's crazy how big of a team you really do need to create a quality game.
Correct. And then, it is never a one-to-one scale. The bigger the team is, the harder is this to manage, the more, let's say, redundant work or not so useful work will be created. So, we what we try to do is we try to keep the team relatively small right now and then efficient. But we have to be scaling later as well.
Yeah. Let's do one more question, then we'll get to a few more giveaways here. A follow-up question to that. A Banana, love the name, is asking, can you tell us the current status of the game as far as the development of E4C? I know you guys got Fallen Arena out there, but what about E4C? I'm curious because alpha testing should start soon, and I can't wait to play. So there you go. You got an excited fan here.
Of course. So I actually mentioned most of it in an earlier conversation today with you. We are in the prototyping phase. We already have a playable build that we keep refining the core play loop, and then we think that this build will be ready for investors, for our very, very close partners by about end of January. Which means that within maybe it's less than 2 months, we'll pretty much finalize this version as our initial version. This version is not a player-facing version. The UI UX will not look that good. A lot of art assets are still temporary assets, but then the core functions are there. The core gameplay loop is what we think it's going to be able to scale. There's no balancing still, so the balancing will take many, many more months. But then at least we think the core gameplay loop is fun. And the next step is our alpha. Alpha we think is going to be in probably Q2 next year, and then beta in the second half of next year, with a goal to launch by end of next year.
Great. I'm excited. I'm feeling Dan there. I'm like, man, I want to get into the game and start playing and testing things out. But I understand there's got to be stuff to come ahead of that. So it's good to hear that you guys have some timelines and hopefully those work out. I know, timelines can be a tricky thing when making a game, but hopefully you guys can hit those. I'd love to jump in and play. But let's get to some giveaways here. So go ahead and get Johnson, if you want to choose a number in your mind and chat, you get one guess. If I see you multi-guessing, it will not count. Okay, so throw a number in the chat. We'll do a couple more giveaways for the loot boxes in the Fallen Arena minigame, and then a couple more whitelist spots. We'll do 3 whitelist spots as well for the Rangers NFT mint coming up. So as we do that, as we're waiting for some chat numbers to come in, Johnson, how many games of Fallen Arena have you won? That's what I want to know.
Have I won?
Yeah.
Oh my God. No, I actually. So first of all, winning against bots is not hard. So I am only telling you the number of real life matches we play, either with our community or within office that I've actually won, and that number is still 0. I'm still trying to break that. I can't even remember how many games I've won against bots. It's not important.
Are you saying all of my wins are against bots, Johnson? I thought I was actually really good at this game.
Well, why don't you join our next tournament and we'll see whether you're very good. We have many level of players. I'm probably like the silver level. We got all the way up to the challenger level in our office. So you can take your pick.
Okay, well, I part of me just wants to sit on my wins against bots and make myself feel good. I don't know if I want to enter in the tournament and get smashed and have my ego smashed as well. We'll see. All right, Johnson, you got a number in your head? I think chat, everyone's got a fair chance to submit, so we're gonna cut off the submissions here. Let's put some lines in the chat so we know where the cutoff was. Hopefully everyone got theirs in. And my number, will start with the giveaways for the loot boxes. So let's see. I'm assuming, we don't have a ton of time. We're probably in near the top of the hour. So let's just give away all 5 here if we can. My number was 99. So we're gonna look who was closest. Man, not a lot of close guesses. I see a 75. Oh, I see a 78 might be the closest. Ross with an 88. Ross, congrats. You're going to be getting a legendary game loot box. Make sure you stick around to the end of the stream as well so that you guys will make sure you get us your wallets. And then I think intro with a 77. Wow. No one guessed 99. I'm kind of disappointed no one got that close. But it looks like intro, Christopher Leong and Jay Jong with a 78. And I think Donovan with the 72 might be the next. All right, Johnson, you got a number in your head.
Well, I don't know how you're going to do it. My number is actually 97.
Oh my gosh.
We're going to overlap a lot. So, you decide where you're going to
Okay,
do.
all right. We might need to re-roll then. All right. Let's do another one then. And
all right.
Let's instead let's see. Okay. Trying to come up with a fun quiz question that someone could guess. So let's see. All right. Johnson, do you have...
Why do we do this?
Okay, go ahead.
You can I can name a question. Guess how many games of League of Legends I've played.
Oh my gosh. Do you have that number?
Years.
You have that number?
I have a rough. I have
okay,
a rough
all right.
sense. I don't have the exact number because my games are spread through North America, Taiwan, and China servers. Sure. But I have a rough number, and just the definition, whether it's a Summoner's Rift or ARAM, doesn't matter. Each game still counts as one.
Oh man. Okay. All right. Well, everyone gets one guess. Two closest guesses to Johnson's total number of League of Legends games. I'm very curious to know this. I haven't looked up mine, but I almost don't want to look up mine. I think there's a site that shows you how many hours you've played, and that's also scary as well. When you see the number of like, oh, I've spent like 8,000 hours on this game. Oh wow, that's a lot of my life.
Yep.
Oh man. All right, we'll give a few more seconds for guesses. How much percentage wise do you feel like you've played ARAM versus Summoner's Rift?
I play mainly Summoner's Rift. Okay. ARAM's maybe less than 20%.
Okay. See, I started playing a lot of ARAM when I was playing the last few years just because a normal game took so long for me. So I'm excited that E4C is going to be a little bit shorter matches because as I've gotten older, I'm like, man, I just don't have time to sit down for a League of Legends game when it takes 20 minutes to just find a game and and then you're playing for another 40 minutes or so. And yeah, it's a lot.
Yep. I totally feel you. And that's why we're creating this shorter and faster and more mobile native experience on mobile.
Okay, we're going to cut off the guesses there. And again, you only get one guess. So I see some people trying to double dip here. You only get one guess. Johnson, it's time to reveal how many games.
All right.
League of Legends.
My best estimate, 4,800.
Oh, wow. Okay, 4,800. I see Bree Antic with 5,000. That looks close. Christopher Long with 5,000 as well. Let's see. I don't think anyone's going to get closer than that. Let's see. Double check, though. All right. I think 5,000 is going to be the closest ones. That's a lot of games. What rank did you hit?
My highest was S7 Diamond.
Wow. Okay, so you would smoke me.
I hope I can. I barely get to play these days. As a startup owner, I'm very busy.
Sure, but I feel like you'd still be better than me. We'd both be rusty, and you would probably probably get it. All right, so let's see. We got. I think we'll pull the third winner at a guess of 4,500 as well. So we got HTNO Pro Huru winning earlier. And then for the 3 last whitelist spots, we got Briantic, we got Christopher Leong, and we got Cray Stones 4,500. So thank you guys. Congrats on the giveaways. We still have the Ranger Edition NFT we'll give away here in a few minutes based on our favorite question. Johnson, you still good for a couple of questions?
Of course.
Okay, I didn't know if you had a certain time limit, but this one is an interesting question. I don't know if you'll know what they're talking about, but just kind of as a spicy hot take here. They asked, I noticed the user growth of E4C has encountered problems in the short term. I want to know what the project party thinks about the current situation. Do you know what they're referring to? Or maybe if not, can you just expand on how do you feel like the community is doing right now for E4C?
No, I'm going to talk about it openly. I'm actually a really open person. I think our community, like if you look at Twitter, at the peak we hit maybe like 41,000 or something, and then the lowest point like a week ago was like 25,000, right? So yes, we lost a lot of people, but what did we lose? I mean, on one hand, we did buy some bots in the very get-go, and then I think those will continue to be cleaned up, especially as Twitter goes through its current Elon Musk reform. So now I think we're all real fans. Two is that yes, I'm sure when the market hits, and the market declines, there will be people who just here, to earn, to get some money, because they think they can participate here and get profit for it. Then they'll probably be leaving. No, I do think that right now, whoever stays with us, our community's interactivity level is still pretty good. Our Discord is still alive and kicking. So, I actually think that this is a good self-selection, and I totally don't mind it. And then now we're growing again, because we are doing this way of free mint, for us to find people who's long-term align with us, with our vision.
Got it. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting with followers going up and down, and especially as we talked about with the markets earlier. In some ways, losing those people, even though it makes numbers down and look bad, it can be in a way healthy thing, as you said, because you're left with the people who actually care about the game and care about the project. So, yeah, thanks for answering that and being honest and open about it. Overby asked, do you think NFT is the future of the gaming industry overall? What do you think? Is Web3 gaming overtake Web2 gaming at some point?
I think there will be elements of Web3 that will be very, very useful in Web2 gaming. I currently think that Web3 gaming may not overtake Web2 gaming. It will just people. I think Web3 right now it is a term that we coined. There will be the future. And I don't know whether people will call it Web2 or Web3, but I certainly can see that blockchain technology being part of it, that there will be more decentralized storage, decentralized management, principles about DAO that will be more adopted in the future for and then more community, more co-creation. I certainly think that these concepts will stick. NFT as a concept, I think will also stick. As you just need to figure out how to use NFTs to better monetize your original in-game items. I think SLG is a great genre for that. I think these massive user games like high DAU games like FPS or MOBA is another way for this to work, where the NFTs can be used to break through the ARPA ceiling for traditional gaming. So I do think that NFT is here to stay. Not every game will have NFTs, but when games find ways to use NFTs smartly, I think that's when more and more traditional Web2 players will be adopting this new norm. So I think the world will have one norm in the one let's say mainstream in the future. I am not sure whether people will call it Web2 or Web3 or Web 2.5 or whatever industrial internet 4.0.
Yeah.
The term no one can predict the terms.
Yeah. I mean, I think it'll be gaming and what that looks like and how, as you said, they implement NFTs. hopefully to enhance the game itself, and that will really make it so that NFTs, I feel like a lot of games just slap them in there because hey, it's the new trend, so let's slap some NFTs, even though we don't know how this actually improves the game itself, right? Which leads me
Yep.
to the next question. Samar asked, lots of tokens and NFTs have no utility. Your token and NFTs provide secondary royalties and game revenue. Can you explain a little bit more about that and those utilities?
Sure. But then, the regulatory landscape has also changed a lot. So when we initially came up with this plan, I think it is much more, let's say, the regulation isn't as tight. Now the regulation is much tighter. Our whole intention is to provide, the revenue share of in-game champion and skin to our NFT holders only for this Genesis NFT series. But first of all, it will not include the current one, which is Thorn, because it is a free mint. And then we need to make sure that we align incentives correctly, right? I mean, people who spend the minting price, which is actually a pretty expensive one, should be getting very, very different utility than the free mint players. So that's one first thing I want to say. And then, going back to the utility, right now we're still working closely with our councils to figure out a more amenable way for this revenue share scheme to be done. For example, we can be airdropping skins. Airdropping skin as an NFT assets. We can be airdropping in our DGC token, which are in-game utility token. There are many ways for us to work this out. We are still in the process of researching and finalizing. And then there are even things that we can do directly with the SEC to essentially to make us a commodity that's legally allowed. So we are exploring all these paths right now. But again, the intention is for us to build a community with these NFTs, and your incentive is aligned with ours. And we are here to build trust with you. So no matter what happens in the end, we'll make sure that what you get is no less, only more than what you think you'll be getting.
Good. Great to hear. I like that. A lot of people, I'm going to try to summarize since we have so many questions. We have only a little bit of time left. But a lot of people, even though we mentioned it in the beginning of the stream, a lot of people still have concerns about the bear market, about finances. They've seen a lot of other games. I think recently we've seen some layoffs from other Web3 games. So just to summarize, I don't know how much you can talk about the finances here, but can you talk about like where you guys are at as far as the health of the company? And some people are asking like, hey, do you guys need to bring in more investors? What's your strategy for doing so? Yeah, I don't know, just kind of broad stroke over those topics if you can.
Sure. First of all, I for sure cannot disclose the runway and stuff, right? But we are healthy. Let me give one data point. We continue to have like as more people who want to invest in us at our last round's valuation than like the money we spend every month. So if we do decide to open up, which we can always do that by just checking with our current shareholders at our last round's valuation, which is still pretty good. Like we can always get more money. So runway is, we're healthy. Runway is always a concern for startup, especially in this environment. But people look at our traction, look at our game, and they're excited, and people want to get in. So that's important. So we're not too worried.
Great. Ross asked, how do you combat pay to win with a MOBA that includes NFT characters? From sound of it, it doesn't sound like the NFTs are pay to win, but is that the case?
That's correct. So it's skins. Skins are not paid to win. It's like League of Legends skins. It has no in-game advantage. It is only aesthetics, only to make you feel cooler. And then no. So I mean, we are essentially a fashion company if you think of it that way.
E4C fashion. When is the merch dropping? Do we get some IRL merch as well?
Um, so we will, but then not anytime soon. I mean, probably over the next year, we'll start to do a little bit of merch trials. But then yeah, versus all the in-game stuff, merch is not our biggest priority.
Great. I lost the question here in the chat, so I don't know who it was from, but someone asked earlier plans for the future. People are interested. Other games that you are thinking of making here in the future, or they said at least the game genres. What would interest you guys as a studio?
Uh, so I am all about innovation. I come up with the wildest, craziest ideas. So for example, the MOBA that we're making, right? We're trying to make it so different. We have, we do have what it takes to be a multi-game studio. But at the same time, right now we need to focus. So, at least for the next year, I don't want to think about another genre. But if we do something, it will be in the space of, like innovating. It's something that's different than what's in the current market. It is not going to be 100% innovating. It will take like a current genre and then mix it with element of a few other genres to for a new experience. That's the type of let's say genre defining work that I like to do.
Awesome. Can you, for my sake, can you mash up somehow an MMO with a MOBA?
Uh, simple answer is, these are. I mean, you can always try it. Put it that way. It is not. It is not what I'm trying to do, though. I
Okay,
am.
well,
You
I
know.
I don't know how to do it either. I just, I'm throwing that out in case you want to use it. Okay, some free brainstorming sessions for you there.
Thank you, Luke.
All right, we just got a couple more questions. We're going to wrap it up and choose a winner for the Ranger NFT. Bay is asking Johnson, please briefly describe your concern about the deteriorating climate on the planet. Do you consider this the most serious threat to civilization?
The simple answer is yes. It is very dire. No. Right now, as I said, we're on track for 4 degrees Celsius rise. And we've done a lot of research. Yes, we're not a research firm, but then we can do secondary research, right? And we realize that, it's going to be worse than many people think. Not just sea level rise, more and more natural catastrophes. There will be a mass scale desertization in the northern hemisphere. Food supply will be very, very, difficult in the future. And then with a drastic cut of food supply, up to let's say even 40% by 2100, which means we can support much less people at that time. And then, like if the arable land will go, north. For example, Siberia become one of the best arable land in the world at that time. It's so hard to imagine, right? So it is the most pressing issue. Of course, the world continues to have more imminent short-term problems, but in terms of scale, the climate change problem is the biggest scale challenge mankind will face. So if we don't tackle it early, no, it will be too late for us to reverse. So that's why I really care about this issue, and I want to be disruptive. I want gamers to care about this issue. I want gamers to take actions together. I want gamers to feel proud that they're not just playing games, they're doing something that can help the world. And that's why I created E4C Final Salvation. I want my mission and passion for the climate to be heard by all the gamers around the world to tackle this issue together.
I love that passion, Johnson. Thanks for sharing that. And I think I said this last time in our previous interview as well, but it's just so fascinating to me that, I feel like a lot of people make video games because, like, oh, this is like a fun entertainment. I love gaming. But for you, it's this, hey, I have this passion, I have this concern for really our entire world, our entire universe, right? And how do we use a fun, engaging medium of entertainment to communicate that message? Where I feel like a lot of people do that, right? In movies, shows, things like that. Books are those normal types of entertainment that people use to get across messages. And I feel like video games have really lacked that passion, that drive, that storyline or message they want to communicate. So that's really cool that you have that as a driving focus. So yeah, thanks for sharing that passion. Appreciate it.
Welcome. I will always be talking about it because it is something that I care the most about.
I love it. Well, I think that's a good question to leave off because I just love that passionate statement there. And I know we have so many questions in the chat we had to skip or didn't close out there. But there's just too many questions. So Johnson, I guess we might have to do this again, or someone else is gonna have to keep answering questions because you got a lot of good questions coming in. So awesome that you guys are here. We're gonna give away the free Ranger NFT. Before we do that though, I want to announce for the second time, a little access code to our new Balthazar Discord. So if you missed it the first time, we are opening up our new Discord, really trying to create a Web3 gaming hub between developers, creators, gamers, investors, you name it. We want to really bring the community together across all different types of projects to build one of the most just hype and beautiful and Web3 gaming, building up the entire space together. So hope you guys can join. 50 spots are open if you use that link, and you will get the OG role. So if you want to be an OG member, Johnson, you need to get in there too. We need your face in there. Come on, you gotta click the link.
All right.
But yeah, if you click on that, that would be a great way to get into our Discord that is not open to the public yet. So get in there. We're going to be doing some other exclusive AMAs, events, giveaways in there. So you won't want to miss out. I do want to announce the winner though. Johnson, are you ready? The One Ranger Edition NFT. This is no joke. This is 0.19 ETH. I don't know what ETH is worth right now, but I know that's not a small amount for most people. So this is the biggest, juiciest giveaway of tonight. I'm pretty excited for it. And let me see if I can bring it up here. There we go. Okay, it's already on the screen. The winner, my favorite question, and Johnson, I'm assuming this is probably your favorite question too. It was the last one. Bay Glenn saved the best for last. Describing your concern about the climate on the planet. Bay, you are the winner. That question, to me, shows that you are here listening. You're part of the community. You understand the project and the passion behind it. So that's why I chose that question. Do you agree, Johnson? It's a great question.
Right? I completely agree.
Okay, I love it. I mean, I love the other questions too about gameplay, tokens, NFTs, but I love that Bay was paying attention here, asking a good question, a passion question, if you will. So Bay, make sure you get your ETH. It's ETH wallet address, right? Not immutable X. ETH still? I guess they're the same thing. What am I talking about? Okay, so make sure your ETH wallet gets dropped in the chat. I'll be going through and collecting them, as well to all the other previous winners of the loot boxes or the whitelist bots. Make sure you drop your ETH wallet in the chat as well. So let me just read those again real quick. HT and No Pro, Huru Tan, Briant K, Christopher Lang, Cray Stones. We got Team Phoenix Rising, Thiam, Zuzu Lin, Dave Esparago, G2LOL, Ross, Intro, MICS, Christopher, J Jong, and Donovan Valentine. So there we go. A lot of giveaways. So Johnson, appreciate the time, appreciate the giveaways. Any last little bits that you want to hype out about E4C, Ambrus Studios, or anything else you want to shout out before we sign off?
Yeah, really quickly, thank you so much, everyone, from the community in joining us today. I hope that you find this, our idea super long term and really interesting, and you can join us, right? You can join us, which means you can, co-create with us. You can, write the story with us. You can decide on how the story goes. When we have do our, some of our champion designs, we'll even put up things for vote like that. So, yes, we do want our community, right, to feel like this is a game that they actually have a say on, that they can work together with the rest of us. So, please join us. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, I love that community participation. Does that mean I can get like my face maybe as a skin or an NFT? Like, can we get a Luke E4C NFT?
If your name is Elon Musk, maybe.
Is that what it takes? All you gotta do is buy
yes.
Twitter, huh?
Yep.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. Well, chat, thank you so much for the wonderful time, guys. I really enjoyed it. Johnson, thank you for your time. And Zhao helping set this up. Appreciate it. Again, make sure you check out the Balthazar Discord. Get in there because we'll have much other events and giveaways coming up. And of course, if you want to check out E4C, there will be plenty of links going around. Check out their website, check out their Discord, and you can go out and hang out with Johnson. So make sure to check out their game and their Discord as well. But Johnson, appreciate the time. For now, let's stop the stream and wrap it up there. Thanks everyone for coming.
Thank you, Luke. Bye.